Then we have avoidant attached, which is typically what people experience when there is unavailability of a caregiver, you're young, or you experience a little bit of some distancing from a caregiver when you express your needs a little too loudly. And
Mm.
what this ultimately is, it's a behavioral and internal physiological relationship to deactivation. This baby and then this adult has learned, hey, look, if I can kind of deactivate the outward displays of my stress response and distance myself from my distress, the likelihood that I maintain what feels to me like a safe level of connection with people is higher. And so these people, oftentimes, they do distance themselves from each other, but they also distance themselves from their own experience a little bit. The really interesting research on the physiological component of avoidantly attached people is that we see that there is a big disconnect between their subjective experience of their stress and their physiological markers of stress.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll ask them, to recall a really difficult event, a painful separation. They'll describe it, they'll connect with it, and we'll have them on heart rate, we'll have them on HRV, we'll have them on skin conductance, which is a measure of autonomic stress.
Mhm.
And the person will tell the story and we'll ask them, like, hey, cool, on a scale of whatever to whatever, how stressed do you feel? And they will dramatically underrate it and be like, it's whatever they rate it as, very low. But when we measure their physiology actually has stronger stress responses than the other attachment styles. And so we can see this as an internal organization for this person where they say, hey, look, my best bet for navigating these stressful events is to kind of keep these things on separate channels. My physiology is going to do what it's going to do. I don't even have the internal experience of doing that. And when I don't let it into my awareness, I don't communicate it to other people because other people don't want to hear that. That's what they have internalized. And so, therefore, that leads to a sense of stability around deactivation. I don't express. I feel like it's a good idea to not only hide that information from the other person, but also from myself. Vulnerability is a real spicy thing for me. I don't like to even consider what it would be like to let others help me. I'm overly self reliant, and I'm not going to let other people super close to me, particularly when I feel stressed and threatened, because that threatens my sense of self reliance. And I've learned that when my self reliance is lower, I'm more at risk. I'm less likely to be able to handle the stressor. And so that's how that person gets organized around that as a behavioral as well as internal autonomic strategy of responding to stressors and threats.
And so this is why, like in the, again, kind of mainstream attachment theory, you just often these people are described as being like hot and cold, where in some moments they seem super available, and then in other moments, absolutely not at all. They just are like gone. And is that because when they are stressed out, like that's their response is to then just, like you said, deactivate?
Right, right. Yeah, and I think this brings up a good point about, well, the difference between, like you had asked a few minutes ago about the difference between bonding and attachment, right? Bonding is simply when we feel close to people and it's nice and, just kind of hanging out and feel comfortable, but there isn't the presence of vulnerability and threat
Mhm.
yet.
Mhm.
And avoidance feel great with bonding because it's a certain amount of closeness minus the vulnerability.
Mm.
And again, not because necessarily they're all narcissists and whatever, and that, they're all just pathologically organized. It's know that they've learned that that level of vulnerability, the other person's not going to meet me where I need to be met, and it's going to be very painful. So self-reliance is more safe in those moments. So bonding is great because I love being there and being comfortable and it feels like a good time. But then when something happens and the avoidant person feels sufficiently vulnerable, all of a sudden closeness means something very different. Now, when that's activated and the system goes, whoa, 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 hey, look, you now see the presence of threat is at this level. You feel this dysregulated, and this person is this close right now. You know that that's not going to work. I don't have a lot of reps inside of my nervous system and memory encoding that says this is going to go well. What do I need
Mm.
to do? I probably need to step back. I probably need to distance. I probably need more space. Ah, yes, that feels more comfortable. Here I go. And then their physiology and psychology knows what to do in that organization of stressor, self, and other.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.